Okay, hello everybody. We are back for our second episode of the Nonprofit Edge, Voices of Impact. And today we have a really special episode and a great guest to talk about different AI and technology techniques that are impacting the nonprofit world. So let's dive right into it. And I'm going to let Joy introduce herself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. For those who may know me out there, but my name is Joy Hutter. I am the Executive Director of the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce right here in Maryland in Anne Arundel County.
It's awesome. And how did you get your start in this nonprofit space?
Okay, that's a little bit of a story.
Yeah.
For years, actually, I led community outreach work for Chick-fil-A restaurants in this area. And one of my favorite projects that we've done, and my job was really just connecting with the community. That's what my role was. But I did a project with several other marketing directors in the area called Passport to Serve. And we brought together more than over 300 guests to do service projects with nonprofits in our county. So it was a lot of
So
fun, really rewarding, and I learned a lot about connecting businesses, community, and nonprofits together. Um, but in my role at Chick-fil-A, I sat on the board for the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce, and the executive director stepped down suddenly. And so we didn't have a director.
cool.
And I said, let me just step in for a little bit. I will just keep the ship going in the right direction, keep things flowing. That was 3.5 years ago.
Mhm.
So not by default. When I stepped in, I really enjoyed it. It was a nice balance between what I've been doing in the community, knowing the folks around here, the players, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great transition. I think you've stepped into that role that not many people could do. So that's very admirable. And just so our viewers that aren't familiar, what does the Crofton Chamber of Commerce do day to day? What does membership look like, and what do you do behind the scenes?
So really, people join the chamber to connect with others. And it's interesting because I've had a lot of conversations recently with people who are interested in becoming a member of the chamber because a friend told them to. But then they'll
Mhm.
say something like, "But I really don't know what you do." Um, we are really about connecting businesses together, networking, to connecting them with the community. We're a very community focused chamber. So we do multiple festivals, but we also offer a lot of our members professional development programming, ways just to connect with each other on a social level. And we're really looking at some fun ways to do that. So if you want to get connected, join your chamber.
That's awesome. Yeah. And are there many chambers all across the US similar to what you do?
There are, and I tell people if they're looking for a chamber of commerce to join, you should date your chambers, right? Go check out an event, make sure it is the right feel for you. I mean, different chambers have different vibes. Some are really into advocacy at the legislative level. Maybe that is your thing. Some are super community based, like mine. So go try some events. You might actually want to join more than one. Anne
Mhm.
Arundel County, we actually have several. We have our friends over in Severna Park, North County, myself, Greater Crofton, my friend at Southern Anne Arundel. We all actually work really well together. It's actually a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's good. Good to know. And right now, I know that it's hard to manage your members and really get a feel of who wants to join and everything that goes with that. But do you have a current membership management system? And can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be with that?
Sure. Yes, we do have a dedicated CRM system. And, when I stepped into the role, the community part, the touching base with businesses, the relationship pieces, that was easy for me. What I did learn is we didn't have a lot of great systems in place in the office that really needed to happen. And we were piecemealing things. I mean, it was like a bunch of band-aids, just holding spreadsheets and all of this stuff together. And to really, I always say, like, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And
Mhm.
we probably should have slowed down a little earlier, and I should have pulled the Band-Aid off very early. We were using a proprietary CRM system. It really cost time and money to the chamber, and I should
Mhm.
have just moved forward a lot quicker. So yes, we are currently working on a very dedicated CRM, which is meeting our needs.
That's awesome. Yeah, it definitely can be a challenge to pick the right system and trial and error. So I understand that it is hard, and sometimes it takes a little time to understand your system and get moving with that. So that's really good. And when you switched to that new piece of technology from where you were, what triggered you to work with that situation and what changed?
So I was going through some, sitting at my desk one day with the proprietary system, and I realized, like, I haven't seen a renewal for that member in a while, and that seems really interesting. And the system was actually pushing people out 2 and 3 years from their technical renewal date. Now, all nonprofits, we're a nonprofit, we work on, we don't have this never-ending budget. So those memberships are important to me. And it just could not get fixed. So I had to really start to look. So start investigating. And I chose a CRM, which I thought was really going to meet our needs. Now,
Mhm.
we onboarded. It looked great. We were having fun. And then about 2.5 months in, I'm at the grocery store and my phone rings. And my point of contact from the software company, she's like, "So I have a link for you to set an appointment with this new CRM company." And I
Mhm.
pause as I'm picking out apples and I go, "I'm not real clear why I need to have a conversation and set an appointment with a new CRM company. We just onboarded." Um, the company decided not to support the software anymore and they were closing shop.
Oh,
And I had 30 days to pick a new CRM system.
oh no.
Now, I'm going to tell you, we're kind of dead in the water without a CRM system. It means I
Mhm.
can't accept new applications for members. We're a really event heavy chamber. So there's no registrations then for events, ways to communicate. I mean, dead in the water. So thank goodness, in between this time, I actually hired an office assistant and she's amazing. So now I had someone to like sit in on calls with me and we did land on a really good option and they gratefully fast forwarded our onboarding. So we could not miss a beat. So it
That's
was
great.
fantastic.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a very stressful situation that probably no nonprofit wants to go through, but through trial and error, I think you did a great job and hopefully the system lasts a while for you guys. But for a nonprofit your size, no matter what the size is, do you think that there is a cost to choosing that piece of technology, or is it more than just the price of it transitioning? Is it other factors?
Certainly we're a small chamber, so certainly price is a factor. But beyond that, and I looked at some that were really out of our price range.
Mhm.
But with that being said, the other costs are something I really thought about as I was looking at other options. If I decided to leave this position tomorrow, could someone who stepped in actually be able to get into the CRM system and click around and at least function at some level until they could really dive in and get trained?
Right.
And I mean, there was a couple I looked at and I'm like, I think, I mean, I'm technology friendly. I love it. I embrace it, but there's definitely a balance between some people just don't like it. So,
Mhm.
and you never know what's going to happen. So that was definitely something I needed to look at. Cost of training, um, all of those pieces really are a factor in making a decision.
Right. And how did your membership react to this
Okay.
decision?
Yes, because now I've been through 3 CRMs. I felt like I was constantly apologizing. Like, "I'm so
Oh,
sorry you can't register for this event. I don't know why your password is not working."
hmm.
And so that was another piece. Member confusion was a a big part of the decision making. And finally, I feel like we're in a good spot where they are now they're successfully able to get into their portal and register for things and find the data they need. And that's a good thing.
That's good. Yeah, I think members need to be a little flexible, and I know that you're a great leader and can provide the right information to them. So, how do you, as the executive director, how do you really build that trust in your membership base? I really am curious.
I was spending so much time troubleshooting passwords and doing all this like administrative work. Like my time was just being like sucked dry by that. But really to gain trust of membership, my job is really to be out there and looking for new and creative ways to connect our members to one another and to this community. And if I'm worried about someone being able to log into a portal, that's just really not a good use of my time. I need things to be smooth. So, building trust is definitely being out there, being a face of this chamber. And then when we promise something, being able to execute on that. No one wants to hear a promise and then it never gets delivered. I
Right.
mean, that's really the kiss of death to say, yeah, I don't want to work with that organization anymore.
Yeah, I agree. That definitely is good advice. You gotta, you gotta be honest with members. They don't want somebody telling them something that can't happen or what you can't do. So I think that even brings us to a broader topic with AI now in the industry. I know some nonprofits are trying to integrate AI and members may not like that. But how do you think AI has transitioned into your daily work, and even if it's in a really small way?
Um, First of all, I am someone who definitely embraces AI. I have two college-age children, so they obviously are in the thick of the AI revolution. But coming from being part of a nonprofit, there's two of us that work here. I have to look, I don't have the budget to always hire a new person to take on something. So AI for me is how can we maximize our time? Time is money. Time is if I'm offering my time to work on something administrative or something that can be made more efficient through AI, that's more time I'm having a conversation. That's what I want to be doing. So Itoy is my office manager in here, and we every week I say, all right, whatever tools we're using, and all these tools are adding AI components. I mean, I can't think of one tool I utilize now that doesn't have a virtual assistant or an AI piece. So we go, okay, what are we using? What are the pain points of why we use this program? What need is it filling? And then we dive in and we learn the tool. And that frees up time. If we can free up our time at a desk, we're winning.
That's very good. Do you use it for your social media posts or anything like a daily tool that you use it for?
So we use it for a lot of communications being pushed out. We love when systems talk with one another, and I think that's definitely something we look at as well. We haven't moved. Our CRM has the capabilities to send out our communication newsletter. We haven't quite made the jump from pulling all that from Constant Contact, but that does have AI components that are, pushing this info out to LinkedIn and Facebook. And actually, Toys on vacation this week. She's like, don't forget to launch, hit the button to launch that to go out into all these places today. So, I mean, that would otherwise be, maybe 4 different places I have to log in to send out a newsletter. And if I can do it with the push of one button, absolutely. Sign me
Yeah,
up.
save time, do that. That's
Yes.
perfect. And I think that is a great mindset to have for any nonprofit. I think some leaders may be scared to implement AI and really don't understand the benefits of it. But how do you think AI has impacted just the nonprofit space in general, all across the industry?
Most nonprofits do work on, they don't have unlimited resources. Not some might, many
Mhm.
don't. And so I feel like having an the AI, and I kind of laugh at this because sometimes like I think when I'm working with some AI, I'll be like, thank you for such like great ideas. And it feels like another person here in the room. Even when like Itoy and I are brainstorming together, sometimes we will go to an AI tool to help like finish, like really fine tune a new
Mhm.
program. And it just, the time saving element is really incredible.
Yeah, it is very good to save time. I do use AI just for simple tasks. I can get ideas and brainstorm, and I think that's a great tool to use it for.
I
Um,
would suggest that people ask themselves questions like, what processes can we improve? What repetitive tasks can we automate? What information can we better organize? And if, again, it goes back to time, it gives staff back time to be talking to one another.
I think that's very interesting that you sit down and you talk about your tools where you work. I think not everybody does that. I think that's a great piece of advice too, just to strategize what you have. So I like
Yes, because I bet almost every person, even if they haven't taken on a formal CRM or something, I will guarantee there's an AI tool within anything they're using, from Stripe to Constant
that.
Contact, you name it. I mean,
Yeah.
even Meta and LinkedIn, they all have it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. But I also want to know, do you think, are you yourself or your team, your members, do you think there are any aspects that we need to be cautious about with AI, and any advice you would give to a smaller leader about being leery about using AI?
I had actually a conversation a couple weeks ago with a business member who it's just not his thing, AI.
Mhm.
But then he brought someone onto his team who is just in love with it. And he's like, Joy, I finally just decided to like let it go and say, okay, go for it and bring to me what you find out. His whole world has changed. He is like, he's like, I can't believe I was just like, I mean, and he was busy doing other things with his businesses, right? So,
Mhm.
and I've heard this time and time again. Sometimes it's not the leader of the company. Sometimes it's an intern. Sometimes it's,
Mhm.
don't ignore that person who's saying, hey, I'd like to try this.
Think the younger generation, sometimes we can have ideas that maybe are brushed over or things like that, but sometimes if you try it out, it could be a nice pathway to go down, even for a nonprofit. So I agree.
Yes, I've heard a few stories of interns this summer changing the
Mhm.
game of some big companies because they were bored with a laptop and understood AI. And next thing you know, they're in the office of the CFO because they've changed things and really streamlined some processes.
That's
Don't
wonderful
ignore
to
those
hear.
young interns. They're brilliant.
Yeah, I know some interns, they may surprise you, so
Yes.
always keep your eyes open. But I think I I kind of wanted to touch on, if I know you don't have a looking glass and you can't see into the future, but what do you think the future of AI will be in not only your chamber but for other nonprofits?
I personally just don't think it can be ignored. I mean, it is here to stay. So I'm just going to go back to my tips. Look at what you're using, find the tools that are already in those programs. And I like to say, just click the button. You can always hit undo. Um,
Mhm.
don't be afraid to like fish around and give something a try. Um,
Mhm.
if we can be more efficient, we can grow at a faster rate, our organization. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point to touch on. Like, you just need to try, don't be afraid to take that leap. And even if it's not with AI, but any other strategy or new piece of technology, I think just taking that leap is a great first step. And you can always press undo. So
I love the Nike tagline, just do it. So mine is just click it. Just go, just go for it.
that's wonderful. That's a good tagline. And I know we've had a great conversation today, and if you have any last thoughts? You have wonderful wisdom, and I've loved talking to you. And what do you see for the future of your chamber, and any other insights?
Right now, and obviously we've been talking about technology and AI and embracing that as a nonprofit. The reality is it is freeing me to do what we're designed to do. And more people are joining chambers because nothing will ever replace looking at someone in the eye, the good old-fashioned handshake, the cup of coffee to have a discussion. So if we can do more of that, we're all winning. I think people are really trying to get out from behind their keyboards.
Mhm.
And when you can do that, you can just your organization can explode. So I really see chambers growing. Um, I have seen definitely just I have questions, right? Like why are you joining my chamber? Or what is, what's happening there? And it really is wanting to do business with people they know and connecting at a human level. So all this talk about tech and AI, the reality is it's about becoming more human. And I think we'll definitely see that being the star, the shining piece, when all this kind of washes out.
Yeah, because behind every piece of technology is a person. So
Yes.
I think connecting with a human is just irreplaceable. And do you think like going to events or, human-centered activities, do you think that is where you thrive?
We do. And we are really looking at trying to broaden the reasons our members come together and doing some unique things. I mean, there are a lot of people, people are moving to areas, they might not have necessarily family or friends here. So rather than like just traditional networking where people are shaking their hands, we've done a few new things at this chamber that are really thriving. We have an amazing caterer, Crave Catering in our chamber, and Chef Kevin, he loves to teach people how to cook. So one of our networking events is really bringing people together. He teaches us how to cook something. You can really get to know someone, know their business as with small talk over learning how to make, whatever it is for us that time. Um, and then something else I heard from members is rather than traditional networking events, they wanted to serve together. And I do. I have a total heart for nonprofits. I love it. And so, recently we have a growing number of nonprofit members. And part of that is adding educational pieces that we think will just benefit them, but helping them to understand they're really a business as well. So everything we do on the business level really affects our nonprofits. And so they're really coming out to our networking events and beautiful things happen. And so a couple weeks ago, we opened up a networking event at the Blue Ribbon Project here in Anne Arundel County, an amazing organization that I love dearly. And we went and served together. And it's just great to get to connect with other business owners while you're doing something good for those that are really have a passion for, in this case, foster children. So looking for unique ways to connect, especially our nonprofits, with our businesses.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I really enjoy to hear what you guys are doing, and maybe I'll have to become a member.
We would love that. I'd love you to come out to something. We really do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and I just wanted to let our audience know where they could find you. Are you on LinkedIn, or where can we find your website?
Sure. Well, if you'd like to find out more about the Greater Crofton Chamber, croftonchamber.com. That gives you all the details there of how to either to become a member, certainly check out our upcoming events. We'd love to see you. You can join our mailing list. And to find me, just look for Joy Hutter on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking today. I really enjoyed having you on. You're a great guest. And I can't wait for the next episode. Everybody can tune in next in September to catch our next episode, and we will be back. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.